Hi there, Rabbi. All the news today is about the peace plan progressing in Gaza and how well it's working. And thank you, Mr. President, for getting it started. But now we're coming to this sticky situation of the international peacekeeping force that is going to be required to maintain civility and ceasefires in that region. And nobody seems anxious, for lack of a better word, to step into this. Why do you think that is?
On November 17th, the United Nations approved an international stabilizing force, ISF, if you will, to intercede, to stand between Israel and Hamas. I would like to challenge everyone out there who's protesting Israel, who's marching and whatever you're doing, and change your focus to establish the international stabilization force, because that's what's going to make a difference. That was approved. It's in Trump's peace plan. Now, Trump said, appointed himself head of a board of peace. No one else has joined the board. No one shows any interest in joining the board. So we have to get beyond the cosmetics. We have to get beyond sound bites and how it looks. Because if people don't act soon, the window is going to close. The ISF was supposed to be, no, not supposed, it's supposed to be, it is supposed to be made up of volunteers from the Arab Muslim world. Well, so far, any country that volunteered troops has backed out. No one wants to be on the ISF. And so protesters, we need the ISF. That's the only hope of true peace and a board of peace.
Well, part of the problem seems to be that the other Arab nations who've been calling for peace in Gaza, calling for Israel to stop the bombing, and also all the other countries in the world that are saying it's all Israel's fault, stop the bombing, Israel do this. But now that they're being asked to put skin in the game, the Arab nations are suddenly reluctant.
Well, let me add a challenge then. The challenge is not just people protesting. I challenge Indonesia, that originally was going to send 200,000 people, and now they're sending 10, if any. I challenge all the Arab nations now to create this international stabilizing force and not put the blame on anyone. The ball is now in your court, countries and nations. You could supply the people. You could be like the referee in a boxing match. Israel go to one corner, Hamas go to the other corner, and we're going to stand in the middle and police it to make sure each of you stays in your corner.
No matter who goes in there to help stabilize things, if anything goes wrong, they're going to get blamed. If anything happens to them, one of the other sides, Israel or Hamas, is going to get blamed. So it seems like it's doomed to fail from the start. And you're saying the idea is still good?
It's an idea. And right now, the question is, can it actually be implemented? Let's get rid of if. If there's an ISF, they will be shot at by Hamas, they will be shot at by Israel, and both sides will deny that they're doing the shooting. There'll be snipers, there'll be killing. So Egypt has supplying someone for the ISF, and one of their peacekeepers gets shot by either maybe a stray round, maybe an intentional assassination. It's going to happen because it has happened. Now, that's why the Arab countries say we don't want to be in this, because the potential for destruction is too great. This is another one of those. It's really a good idea and it would solve the problem. It has to be implemented. That's why I want to turn to the protesters. Stop protesting what's not going to work. Let's get behind an ISF. Let's get behind President Trump's Board of Peace. That's going to make the difference. But Israel and Hamas already have shown us, They're not going to peak. They're not going to police each other. They're not going to cooperate with each other. That's a given. It's time for some real politics, Joe. It's one thing to have a Disney view of the world. It's another to sit back and say, here is a plan. It's the beginning of December. Situation is deteriorating. There really is no ceasefire. There's still constant sniping and shooting going on. There's the Israel's green zone, and the United States is guaranteed to protect that. So we're dividing the Gaza up into two sections. We're totally ignoring the ISF. We're totally ignoring the Board of Peace.
But if we acknowledge that it's a no-win situation, no matter who volunteers or who goes in, aren't we asking people to go in and basically on a suicide mission?
No, no, I don't think it's a suicide mission. I don't think it's a no-win. I think it's just the opposite. But I think we have to acknowledge the Arab Muslim countries' criticisms. We have to acknowledge their concerns and say that, yes, you're right. You're going to get shot. It's going to happen. And in order to have peace, are you willing to have that happen? Not risk it, not an if, not a maybe. It's going to happen. And are you willing to put your troops in that position in order to finally get peace? But no one wants to talk about that because it's not really that sexy. It's not Disney. We really want to be able to protest and cover our faces and march around and blame Israel. Blame, blame, blame. Here we have something that there's no blame. Here's a solution. President Trump came up with a solution. No one is stepping up to bat.
Well, Rabbi, I don't know. I like your advice more than anybody else's, but it seems like there's no simple solution here. Let's hope that the peacekeeping force does eventually materialize, that it stays as safe as it possibly can, and that the road to peace continues. Meanwhile, thank you for your wisdom and everything you say and do, because I think we need some guiding lights in all this, and you're providing it for me at least.
For those watching and listening, stop blaming Israel. Stop blaming Hamas. Stop all the blame. Let's turn to Egypt, the Saudis, and the other Arab countries to supply the international stabilizing force, knowing full well what they're stepping into and what's going to happen. However, the end result will finally be peace in Gaza.